So it seems like people are quitting Umamusume over the Gemini Cup. The post said, seeing people quit Umamusume over champion meeting is not exactly a surprise to me, because rage quitting in any PvP game is not unheard of. Like every time when you lose, it feels devastating until you get used to it. And the same goes to pretty much any PvP game. But PvP in the Umamusume in the global version is vastly different. The experience is definitely not the same like the JP version, for a pretty simple reason. The accelerated schedule. Like you see, back then, it actually took 6 months for JP player to experience the champion meeting. And we got champion meeting in like 2 months. It almost feels like we're still learning how to walk in this game, and the game just airdrop us into the racetrack and tell us to sprint. And by any mean, Umamusume is not an easy game. It could get very in-depth, or else there wouldn't be this meme of the Umamusume iceberg. While JP player got to chill out, enjoy the game, enjoy training all the stuff, getting used to a lot of things, and actually learn how to run before they get into the champion meeting. Well, the accelerated schedule would be completely fine if everyone are new to the game, which is not. The new player in the EN server gotta face the isekai protagonist from other server. They basically isekai from other server into the EN server with the prior knowledge of Umamusume. So the new player like us would have the hardest time playing against these players with 4 years of knowledge on Umamusume. So there's this polarized distribution on the player skill levels. You're either really bad at the game or you're really good at the game, and there's no middle ground. While in JP server, everyone are new player. They get to competing each other in this rather chaotic environment, but in a really fun way, which is a factors that actually makes the new game fun. And we don't really get to experience that chaotic but fun period of the game. Like, to be fair, it took me a pretty good amount of time to actually catch up with the game, and it's pretty much impossible without the help of JP veteran that puts out the guide up there. And it's not even easy to learn given how complex the game is. Like, there are skills that is just straight up useless, like the iron wheel or the extra tank. And if we talk about the acceleration skill, it gets even more complicated. Like the red shift of Malusensky was an S tier in the Taurus Cup, but in the Gemini Cup, it is not good. And I don't think any new player, including myself, could actually catch up with this massive amounts of information without the help of the JP guide. And if you don't spend a good amount of time learning the game, you're basically turning the Umamusume instead of experiencing horse racing simulator in the champion meeting. You are playing Ulala Simulator, losing pretty much every single match. Rest in peace, Halu Ulala. And I personally got 60% win rate in this Gemini Cup. So this is the numbers. But I don't actually have the best deck like the Max Kitasan Black. I will just show you guys what I use. So I got decks like this. This Super Creek one is borrowed, and this one is for my ghost ship. I also borrowed from other people, and this one is Majiro McQueen. I got pretty lucky with the rating cause I got a really high roll. Even without the S long distance, she actually performed better than my any other Majiro McQueen that I trained cause I put them into the Uma simulator. If you know what that website is, a pretty lucky one. But still, Ghost Ship got all the win, while my Majiro McQueen got 12.3%, and it's even lower than my Daiwa Scarlet. Yeah, and I eventually got the second place in the final. But overall, I'm pretty satisfied with the result, cause I haven't spent in this game yet. So I think this could actually prove that learning about the game could make a pretty big difference. Even though RNG take place during the race, like there are races that I lost to a poorly built Uma, but there are also cases where I actually met this perfectly built Umas but they kind of stuck behind with the crowd. If you are blocked it. And I won that game by purely luck. So the RNG thing is either side. And when I look into this Twitter post, the Uma Alice claimed that with this deck, she could actually get herself to the B final. And apparently her deck is even worse because she doesn't really pull for the support, saving Carrot for the future banner. And also this thread said, "Gonna be honest, however pretentious it sounds, people complaining about the champion meeting most of the time is a skill issue, 1000 gold ship with long S and straightway spurt, 2 gold recovery, will literally crush many other players and probably get to the B final." Yeah, that is actually true. I think this one is worth mentioning. You either have to be jobless to grind good enough Uma as free-to-play player, or ungodly lucky that you get the perfect training luck in a career spark that are very kind to you, which, surprise, they haven't been. This seriously just isn't true. Well, she is actually right on this one, because your Uma could only go as far as how good is your support card is. With the way this game is designed, you can never outstat the good support card with the good luck with the mediocre decks. So it's definitely one of the biggest misconceptions about this game. But I could also foresee this future where my win rate gonna drop pretty significantly, cause I plan to skip most of the Uma and most of the support, including the Power Rice Shower and the Rigo Kashimoto. For those who don't know, these two support will dominate the champion meeting for a good 3 to 4 months and still good for a really long while. And on top of that, they are on the same banner. And I think the other thing that makes people hard to adjust with the PvP is that a lot of people probably never played PvP game before. I assume that a lot of you probably coming from the gacha game without the PvP, but one of the nature of the PvP game is actually to lose the game. And it's actually pretty brutal. But you will be fine after you get used to it. And I think it's like guys' fantasy. They would fantasize that they could actually beat up some random guy on the street. But the reality is, if they get into the boxing camp or the jiu-jitsu dojo, they would actually get their butt cheek clapped and get humbled by the reality check. But if they keep staying in the camp or in the dojo, they will learn and grow, along with those who taught them the lesson. And I think Umamusume is pretty much the same case. You just gotta adapt to the nature of the sport of it. But most importantly, Umamusume is not just about PvP. PvP is just a fraction of it. Like, I've never seen a game that puts so much emphasis on the cultural part of it. I mean, like, why would they put in so much resource into the dancing animation and came out with the banger song one after another, and also came out with some absolutely masterpiece of a anime? I think the Oguri Cap story, the Cinderella Grey deserve a 10 out of 10. I have never seen any gacha game like this. I think you should try as hard as you could enjoy in the PvP mode. You don't want to try so hard that it takes away the pressure, the enjoyment of it, because the point of playing the game is to have fun. Vibing with the game, learning about the lore of the horses itself is also really fun. I've been digging into the lore of the horses one after another, cause every single horse got really good story behind them, because it's based off real story. So definitely don't take PvP too seriously. If you don't enjoy it, you wanna treat it like a paycheck. And you can also look at the PvP mode as how side game is monetizing out of the player base, because it could effectively pressure player to spend in the game in order to win for the next champion meeting. So definitely keep that in mind and enjoy the game. I think that's about it. See ya guys.